Hey, welcome back to the Pulse. Now, let's talk about the controversial electronic transfer levy. It's been 5 days since the levy kicked in, and already mobile money vendors are complaining about panic withdrawals at vending points. Now, we'll be engaging some of the leadership of the Mobile Money Agents Association shortly, but first, our research desk has actually put together a list of transactions exempt from the implementation or effectiveness of the electronic transactions levy. We'll be bringing all that and more to you shortly. But let's speak now to Charles Kwesiado, who's spokesperson for the association, joining us via Zoom now. Charles, so here we are today. It's been day 5, and I'm sure that as vendors as well, you've been tracking the transfers and how people are reacting to the E-levy. But what can you say about the concern on panic withdrawals? What's your group noticing about the E-levy?
Okay, Kofi, good evening to your cherished viewers, and thanks for having me. With regards to the panic withdrawal, as I stated earlier, customers just took into our end right after the passage of the 1st of May. And I can say to you that 80% of customers that walk into our end or are in there to withdraw their money. Interestingly, because of the long holidays and the weekends, we the national executive leaders, will want to assess the impact very well, starting from yesterday to Friday, so that we are conducting a survey, a 3-day survey, just to know the real impact, whether it was the holiday and the long weekend that attributed to massive withdrawal we encountered.
So what you mean to say is that generally you've seen a lot of people walk to your vending points to demand for their cash?
Definitely, yes.
You mean that has been the trend?
That has been the trend, yeah. Right from Friday, and then the effect itself was felt on Sunday when the E-levy was passed. And then, interestingly, it will surprise you that most of the banks are not working. And we believe that because banks were not working, everybody would want to just come to our end and withdraw. So that is why I said National Executive is monitoring the system closely by conducting a short 3-day survey, 72-hour survey. That was yesterday, Wednesday, and it will end tomorrow, Friday. That will be able to give a better perspective to the cost of the massive withdrawal with regards to mobile money.
At least I'm sure that by now the Ghana Revenue Authority has engaged your group on the modalities and also some of the concerns that you've been raising about the merchant SIM cards. Have you been able to rectify all of these anomalies, as you're terming it?
Definitely, yes. Interestingly, we have had a call from the Ghana Revenue Authority. We'll be in a meeting with them tomorrow, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So most of such issues will be addressed by them. And without even saying that, we have also conducted a series of investigation with regards to agent to bank transfers. Most of those transfers need not to attract any fee. But some of the banks, I will not want to mention their name now, are still doing same by charging most of the agents. And that has been a very bad thing on the part of the banks. So we are going to report to the Ghana Revenue Authority so that those banks will be brought to book. If not, if nothing is done about it, we'll make sure that the names of such banks are previewed to the general public. And most of the agents will just withdraw their services with such banks.
So you're accusing some of the banks of abusing or violating the law. Precisely, you're not supposed to be charged on the bank to Momo transfers once it's established that that account belongs to you, but you're pointing out otherwise.
Exactly. Most of them, and we are believing, the report we are having is that it's a technical challenge by some of the banks. They've not done their work properly, and therefore they are waiting on Ghana Revenue Authority. So we have given them up to Friday. If they are unable to come clear and then make it clear to the general public or specifically the agents, then we are going to mention their names out. And most of the customers will just withdraw their services with such banks.
And for those of you watching us right now, we've been also assessing some of the transactions that are exempt from the charges, so you know as well once you're transacting business. So here you have it on your screen as well, a breakdown of some of the charges that will not attract the 1.5 charge from government. So let's bring that to you right now. Charles is also with us. There are more concerns that they have, but you have the first concern here, we know that the levy shall be charged and also remitted by charging entity in terms of the Ghana Revenue Authority. But we know that these EMIs are not supposed to be doing their charges on some categories of persons, and that's what we want to bring to you. The mobile money merchants as well are also raising concerns. So we'll get to Charles shortly, but take a look at this. The very last categories of persons that are not supposed to be charged. So we know that by now, if you're dealing with a cumulative transfer of 100 Ghana cedis a day, then that will not definitely attract a charge. So if you're working below that 100 cedis threshold within a day, then the E-levy will not setting. So we know about that. There's also another group of persons who are not supposed to be attracting that levy. A transfer between accounts owned by the same person, and this includes transfers by joint accounts by other account holders, and also transfers into a trust account by trustees. Such a person actually qualifies for this exclusion when they update their records. That's what the guideline of the Ghana Revenue Authority is saying. So Charles, this is the point I want to take your thoughts on. Could it not be the case that most of your members, the mobile money merchants, have not upgraded their records for which we're seeing the deduction and the charges setting?
That is why I was quick to say that I would not want to mention the bank's name. We are going to have a meeting tomorrow with the Ghana Revenue Authority, and by so doing, we'll be able to ascertain whether indeed those agents or merchants have not been able to link up their account with their Ghana card. But interestingly enough, what we were privy to is that once your agent SIM is linked to your Ghana card and that of your bank, automatically there need not to be any deduction.
And Charles, help us understand this.
Most of them have been deducted. That is not quick enough. Mention the bank.
Right. But Charles, help us understand this. By now, are there some areas in terms of the transactions that your group is not clear on, which you'd like to clarify when you meet the Ghana Revenue Authority tomorrow?
Definitely, yes. That is the first option that I mentioned, that most of the accounts of the agent have been debited, which need not to be so. And then we want to source clarity with regards to third-party transactions. You know, there was a crunch meeting somewhere last week, even before that was Thursday, last week Thursday, with the telcos by Ghana Revenue Authority and then the NCA, National Communication Authority, with regards to one individual having multiple accounts that have been linked together. We want to source more clarity on that, and we will get it better with the Ghana Revenue Authority, God willing, tomorrow when we're able to meet them.
How about the telecommunication companies as well? The reports we're getting is that there's no synergy for now, there's no common platform, which means that up until July, nothing can be done about such transactions. Have you engaged the telcos as well on the concerns that you have?
We are all partners in this game, and those aspects of the E-levy is technical. And those who are in charge of those technicality are the National Communication Authority. They are to merge with Ghana Revenue Authority and the telcos to have a harmonious platform or system for which we, the agents, will operate. So for that, I will not want to go there. I will leave that to the Communication Authority for them to address that.
Yeah, but you deal with the telcos, so you agree that they hold some responsibility, at least to explain some of the modalities to your group.
Definitely, yes. But, you know, those are some of the technical challenges that I initially stated. But I will not want to go there, because before you speak to such technicality, you should be privy to certain information. And as I sit here and communicate on behalf of the agent's body, I don't have any information with regards to that. And
well, it's been 5 days since the implementation of the E-levy. There's still a divided opinion there as to whether or not it's been helpful or not. Are you beginning to change your mind as mobile money merchants on whether or not this revenue measure by government is worth the while or not?
Our point is so clear out there. Agents are not happy, and that I have to state emphatically. In fact, most of the transactional volumes have reduced drastically. And interestingly enough, there's no balance in our business now. Initially, if you take 10 people, let's say 10 people visit your stand in a day, at least 40 or four of them will have withdrawal, or 60, or let me say in terms of percentage, 60-40. Either 60 is for withdrawal or 40 for transfer. But the opposite is rather happening. Now, we are at the pledge of 60%. Any person that comes to our shop is into withdrawal. And the rest of them are doing deposit. But let me put this thing across. There are falsehood out there that whenever your money is set to be in your account, whether you are in there to withdraw or you leave the money there, automatically you'll be debited by your account, E-levy. So that falsehood is also challenging people out there to troop in their numbers to have withdrawal with us. And I want to use this great medium to say it is never true. Any transaction that you will do with regards to withdrawal, you will not be made to pay any charge. Secondly, when you come to any agent to do a deposit, the deposit simply means that you come in, you give physical cash, and your account will be credited electronically. There is no
Charles,
to that effect.
right.
The E-levy only takes effect when even with unsecured.
I'm afraid that the line is not too favorable, but your point is well made. Thank you so much, Charles, for joining us here on the Pulse. Well, we've been on the streets also asking people how they're coping with this revenue measure.
Now, I only deposit when I want to buy airtime or something. I have most of my money on me now. But maybe now the E-levy has come to stay with us, so the best thing is I'll still keep money in it all day. But for now, I just want to hold on. I want to have a better understanding of the E-levy first before I do anything.
We cannot stop doing it, At the moment, I've even sent money this morning. Only that we are not sending huge sum of money. Yes, but at least 100, 200, 300 maximum.
Currently, the money on my Momo is 9.0%. What means that? It means that I'm not going to use the Momo accounts again, because I find it very difficult for me if having money to send to my parent or my junior sister who is currently at school, I have to pay double charges, which I find it is unfair to a normal Ghanaian.
It's going to really affect, definitely, it's going to really affect the amount of transactions you do. Because just imagine you are paying 1.5 percentage on every 100 cedis transaction that you make per day. So just imagine I have about 300 Ghana cedis to send in a day. I will have to pay 1.5 over for 300 cedis. That is basically multiply 1.5 times 3. And that is quite cumbersome for us.
I haven't done any transaction, and I'm going to be very careful on the transaction I make on Momo, because it's going to take quite a lot of money. So if it's not going to help, I don't think I'll do it. But where it deems necessary for me to do some transaction, fine, I don't mind, I'll do it. Since you are going to pay high amount of money, then you need to think about it before you make that decision.